this race 2 years ago. Track caution lights are out, the green lights are on, and we are off and running 125 laps here at Florence Motor Speedway as they make their way up into turn number 3. It is high-speed pace lap formation into turns 3 and 4.
Doug Barnes holding strong on that outside. Looks like Matt Cox is going to be able to clear him here and get out to the lead. He's going to try and control that pace as much as he can.
So important to get out and get that advantage. You can kind of let the car sweep up the racetrack coming off the corners. You don't have to pinch it down, and you can just kind of run your own race. Your front four halves stuck into single file line. It is Matt Cox, the race leader. Doug Barnes Jr. runs in second. Laney Bice is in the third spot. Donovan Strauss runs in the fourth spot. And even tucking into the fifth spot is Tristan McKee. You got a veteran in Matt Cox. You got a youngster in Tristan McKee. You got a veteran racer with some experience here at Florence and Doug Barnes. You got another young racer in Laney Bice. You got a little bit of old and a little bit of new, and that's always fun about how this thing shakes out here at Florence.
Let's see how Tristan McKee handles this. You know, he can really, he can keep going. You know, Matt Cox is smart enough, and he's raced here long enough that he may not follow Tristan McKee if he's going a little bit harder than he wants to. So we'll see how Tristan plays this out, see if he starts to take his time or tries to run away from the field.
Cody Kelly, yellow flag. We have Dexter Knife is off the racetrack on the backstretch, and Darren Krantz Jr. is off the racetrack. Krantz the wrong way around over there, number 77 car. We are under caution. And, well, Matt Cox continues to set the pace, but now Tristan McKee gets into the back bumper just a little bit and slides him up the racetrack.
Side by side for the lead here. Tristan McKee really wants to keep that lead. Matt Cox not pushing the issue here early, but Connor Hall is going to follow Tristan McKee through to second place.
Yeah, we're halfway down, halfway to go in this race as we continue on. Tristan McKee is there. The problem for Matt Cox is a pair of 88s have just driven by, and those 88s are going to be tough to handle. Connor Hall gets by, Doug Barnes Jr. gets by, and Laney Bice says, I'll have a little bit of that too. She gets by. We got trouble in turn number 3. Landon Huffman goes around. Landon Huffman loops that car in turn number 3 and 4. Yellow flag is out as Huffman spins that number 57 machine. To the attention of the crew as we get a chance here to look at this to see what happened down here. And it looks like
a case of not clear.
Yep,
absolutely. Cox still wants to control this race. Still side by side as we come up a turn 4.
Doug Barnes working around the high side of Connor Hall as well. So I think everyone is kind of sizing each other up. And you want to save your tires, but you want to have that track position. We have got a very, very yellow flag is out. We got one stop down here. Caden Quaffle is stopped down here in turn number 4. And yet again, we are under caution here. This time we did not get any more laps done. So Caden Quaffle is stopped down here off from turn number 4.
Looks like...
So again, let's try this under this caution. Bell and Bell, GMC, pace car, GMC pace truck actually gets out of harm's way, and we're back to green flag racing action here into the second half now on this one.
Tristan McKee gets the jump through 1 and 2, but Matt Cox is fighting hard on the inside off of turn 2. Still side by side as we go into turn 3.
Yeah, wheel to wheel. McKee working the high side of the speedway. Cox really smooth down on the low side up off from turn number 4. They're side by side as really high-speed parade or pace lap formation here. Oh, trouble in turn number 3 as the 88s get together. Connor Hall and Doug Barnes Jr. get together, and they cause a stack up over there. Wow, we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 cars, 15 cars. Alex Meggs, Riley Gentry, Landon Huffman not involved.
Carson Lofton
in the middle.
Car underneath Carson Lofton at the moment, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We have got them all wadded up there.
You know, Steve, that is one of the worst places you can have an accident like that where the whole field stacks up. Is right on a restart, everyone's side by side, nowhere to go, no separation, and everyone piles into the wreck because they're going full speed in turn 1.
Yeah, oh, there we go. We've got...
Mason Walters.
Yep, Mason Walters is in there. There's Carson Lofton.
Cody Kelly.
Yep.
Wow, a lot of damage.
There's LeVar Scott in there. We just chatted a little bit with LeVar, and he got up in it as well. Just, to your point down here, no place to go when you get down there, and you're all elbow to elbow down there, and just really, really a challenge as we work to get those cars off the racetrack. One of the things that was discussed.
Take a look at the replay here. Connor Hall inside of Doug Barnes. Gets squeezed a little bit, checks the whole field up. Zach Merrill gets spun by Laney Bice, and then everyone just piles in.
Yep.
Back here at the Icebreaker, where there were tremendous amount of cars caught up in the incident over in turn 1. You get a good look at Carson Loftus' machine. He was sandwiched between and Dexter Knipe. He was just sort of stuck. They had to pull those cars out so he could get his car out. Significant left front damage to his car, and it seems like that's the theme. I saw Connor Hall had a little left front damage. They were checking the alignment of that tire. Doug Barnes' team was checking the alignment of the left front tire. Everybody concerned about making sure that the steering wheels are straight. As you see, the Nelson Motorsports team put the bare bond on the number 22 machine, and they'll try and get Lofton back out on the racetrack. Cosmetic damage doesn't look like it's particularly bad on the left front so far as the suspension goes. Everything underneath the bodywork looks okay. It's just everything above that got crunched up. And here's the thing, Steve, in short track racing, you don't necessarily need aerodynamics all that much. So I don't necessarily think it's going to be too detrimental, but certainly something they're going to need to bare bond up a little bit. Is there are a whole host of cars down pit road that are just trying to assess the damage and get a whole bunch of tape back on their late model stock cars.
Here's you talked about this. Here's the pair of 88s, Doug Barnes Jr. and Connor Hall making their way forward as they roll down off from turn at number 4. Barnes is in the 15th spot. Hall is in the 16th spot as they thunder toward the front of the field. Position at number 10. Mason Diaz now takes a peek to the low side. This is the battle for the 4th spot. Donovan Strauss going to have to yield that inside lane as Mason Diaz works his way to the bottom of the speedway, battling for 4th.
What a strong run for Mason Diaz, starting in the back of the pack, already up in the top 5 with 50 laps to go here. He takes that spot, and he has his sights set on Laney Bice.
Yep, Mason Diaz and Sam Yarborough in tow. And Sam, I think, content right now to let Mason open up the holes, and he just kind of drives through them. And Brandon Pierce having a nice run back there as well in that number 2 car. So everyone's kind of working their way through as we're down to 76 laps have been completed, 49 laps to go. And they're all trying to size each other up to see who's going to get to the front of the field. But Tristan McKee has not yielded that top spot over the last 10 or 12 laps. Boy, and Caden Koppel is rolling. He just took the 7th spot, and he's licking his chops right now because he's closed in on the back bumper of Brandon Pierce. Pierce runs in the 6th spot. Here's the battle for 3rd on that. Laney Bice, she is just hanging tough in the top 3, top 5 all day long. Right now, she's got Mason Diaz and Sam Yarborough off the back bumper, but Laney Bice accounting for herself very well here with 42 laps to go.
Got to reckon to turn 1.
Oh, Matt Gould is in trouble down there. Looks like LeVar Scott has stopped. Dylan Newsom is
Alex
there.
Meggs.
Yeah, Alex Meggs is off the racetrack. And so 41 laps to go. We're under caution here again.
Looks like he's overheating, so I'm sure it knocked the ductwork and the radiator out of it as we take a look at a replay here.
Oh, that started way back in the middle. It looks like Zach Miracle and LeVar Scott maybe got together right here at the start-finish line. Someone got into LeVar Scott at the start-finish line. Bell and Bell GMC pace truck gets out of harm's way. We're back to green flag racing action. 41 laps to go.
Really even restart there for the 7 and the 51. 7 jumps out a little bit head off of turn 2, but Matt Cox is fighting back hard.
Mason Diaz gets the upper hand on that battle for 3rd spot. Laney Bice, she throws it in there on the low side. She gets a good run off from turn number 4. Cox, new race leader. You had mentioned it, Stephen, that Matt Cox apparently feels like the time is now, and he's able to wrestle away that top spot from Tristan McKee. He can't say enough for Laney Bice. She has just been
Strong run.
solid in the top 5, top 3 all day long. Has had a few dust-ups. She was in that 3-wide scrum here on the front straightaway. She was able to get through that wreck, but she has been unflappable sitting in the 3rd spot right now. Mason Diaz and Sam Yarborough complete your top 5.
Doug Barnes and Connor Hall are fighting hard to get back in that top 10 as we see Connor Hall going on the inside of Donovan Strauss now.
Yep. And while that is happening, a little further forward, we mentioned Sam Yarborough's in 5th spot. He's under challenge. Caden Koppel is all over Sam Yarborough, trying to challenge for that 5th spot as they work into turn number 3. So great battling here in the top 10 spots as there is Connor Hall working to the low side of Donovan Strauss.
And apparently they made a really good adjustment on that car as he's charging through the field, getting by Mason Diaz now.
Yeah, Caden Koppel up to the 4th spot as he gets around, puts pretty easy work on Mason Diaz, getting up into the 4th spot. So Caden Koppel is in good shape. Trouble in turn number 4. It's like Aaron Donnelly the wrong way around into 71. Donnelly has that car twisted up here in turn number 4. So yet again, we are under caution here with 92 laps completed, 33 laps to go. Would have been an easy move. we get a chance here on the Ultra Broadcasting screen to take a look at it.
Looks like a little bit of contact from Zach Miracle there, just sent him around.
Yep. And at this point in the race, Stefan, you don't need a lot of contact with these old worn-out tires to send you around.
No, and it's so hard, too, in races like this. A lot of times when you get from that 10th to 20th range, it's just a hornet's nest. There's always so much going on. People are racing so hard, fighting hard, and obviously Aaron Donnelly was at the unlucky end of one of those incidents.
Yep.
Doug Barnes and Connor Hall back inside the top 10.
Funny how that happens, that is for sure. The Bell & Bell GMC pace truck gets on the pit road, and we're back to green flag racing action. Matt Cox and Tristan McKee side by side in turn number 1.
Still side by side off of turn 2. Tristan McKee fighting hard, a little bit sideways off of turn 2. Matt Cox has got a nose ahead going into turn 3.
Yeah, Matt Cox seems to have that car wound up pretty good. Right now, Laney Bice looks to the low side of Tristan McKee. McKee might not be clear in that second spot as Laney Bice looks low, but now McKee able to tuck down in line behind Matt Cox. The tales are going to be told as to what he did with his race tires as over these last 30 laps or so. It's going to be interesting to see what Tristan McKee and really what everyone else has as far as Hoosier Racing tires.
Caden Quaffle's fighting really hard with Sam Yarborough here. He gets that spot and puts him into the top 5.
Darren Krantz, another driver that spent some time in the pit area, was spun around on the back stretch midway through this one, and he has climbed his way back up inside the top 10. As this time by, we're down to 25 laps to go. 100 laps have been completed, 25 to go. Those two drivers battling for the 7th spot, Doug Barnes and Sam Yarborough here. A couple of drivers that not only racing it out here at the Icebreaker for position, but position might be important for the I-95 Showdown, the new 8-race series between Florence Motor Speedway and Southern National Motorsports Park as they work around the inside of Alex Meggs. Those are two drivers right there that figure to be a factor in that $7,500 plus a cruise for the winner of the I-95 Showdown. Next race is coming up at Southern National Motorsports Park on Wednesday, March 12th. And boy, what a great way to start the season here for anybody. This Icebreaker, one of the marquee events on the late model stock calendar. And right now, Matt Cox working through some slower lap traffic as he makes his way up onto the back straightaway. Has 1 or 2 more lap cars. Dylan Newsom he's going to have to fend with as he comes down this time by. The signal goes out. 2 laps to go. 2 to go for Matt Cox. Darren Krantz has snuck his way around Mason Diaz for the 5th spot. So a great run for Darren Krantz as well as he has moved up into position number 5. Diaz back to the 6th spot. Final trip around the speedway as Matt Cox has a couple of lap cars ahead, but he can take his time and work methodically through turns 1 and 2. Cox now mashes his foot down on the accelerator off turn number 2 onto the back straightaway for the final time in turn number 3. This is the 10th running of the Icebreaker here. It's at Florence Motor Speedway, and off turn number 4, the Aaron's Dream Machine, Matt Cox, picks up the win here at Florence. Cox is the race winner. Tristan McKee finishes in the 2nd spot. Caden Quaffle finishes 3rd. Laney Bice 4th. Darren Krantz complete your top 5 drivers as we are wrapping it up here at Florence Motor Speedway for the late model stock racers, and Matt Cox has taken them to school here today.
If you followed Macomb Elliott Racing, you know how much the PD region means to this team. They've had success in a lot of places, but this is their home. First at Myrtle Beach, then at Florence, and anytime they can get a victory here, it's sweet. But I imagine, given how close Matt Cox has come to winning this race before without actually getting the job done, this could be even sweeter for the Little River, South Carolina native as Matt Cox dominates today, won the pole, had the fastest car, took control in the second half of this race, and the one that has gotten away from him finally comes home to roost today. Matt Cox is the winner of the 10th annual Icebreaker at Florence Motor Speedway. Take a moment to get the radio off and get the headset off, and Matt Cox, you finally are an Icebreaker winner. How's that feel?
Man, it feels good. This is one of the biggest races we've probably ever won. And, man, we've had such good race cars here and just had bad luck in the 400 the last couple of years. And, man, we hated, had bad luck this past year in the 400. And we worked hard, man, to make sure everything was right when we come back this year. And, man, that's probably one of the best race cars I've ever had here. And we couldn't do it without our help. And everyone that helps us out, Robert that gives us everything we need. Great engines, great cars. Chad McCombie for all his help setup wise, man. He's really gave me the pointers and he's had this thing on fire for us. And got to thank all those guys, my brother, Jamie Curtis. Gosh, I'm leaving some people out. Jamie Godwin, Doc, Jimmy Polk at the engine shop. Just everybody that makes this happen. You know, we couldn't do it without them. My wife, kids, I know they sacrifice things so we can come and do this. And, you know, it's just really appreciative of everybody that makes it happen for us.